Hi, everybody. Mark Thompson here for a little summer signing session. We've got Adam Schmidt with us, one of the 8 players signed by the Royals. We're here in late July, and Adam, I want to thank you. I know you came in to get some gear to start the process of getting yourself ready for the 2017-18 season. I want to thank you for coming by and being a part of it. You are a little bit of a local boy, so why don't we start there? You know, you're from down Bucks County way.
I am, yeah.
I'm assuming that you were born and raised down that way.
I was, yeah. I was born in Warrington. Grown up there ever since. Lived there during the summertime when I've been gone playing and whatnot. And went to college at Holy Cross, a little farther away, but for the most part I've been local for my whole life.
You're coming back to North America after several seasons over in Europe, playing in the Swedish league there. I guess at the second division in Sweden. It must have been an exciting experience to go over and ply your trade there in Scandinavia.
Yeah, it was very much so. I enjoyed my 3 years there. Year one, I was a bit nervous going in, didn't really know what to expect. It's kind of a different type of hockey over there, as you see in the Olympics and on the Olympic
How would
ice.
you describe it? You did get, obviously, to play a lot of North American. You talk about playing collegiately here at Holy Cross, and you actually did play some North American pro before going over to Sweden after you completed. We'll talk about that in a moment. But so you do have a comparative position looking at it. How would you compare the way they play in Sweden as to the way we play here in North America?
It's a bit different. I think you see it a lot with European teams in the Olympics and whatnot, World Championships. Bigger ice just opens you up in a lot of different ways. It took me a bit to get used to actually the first year. You got to realize you have more time than you think out there. I mean, as you get older and play pro hockey, I think you realize you have more time in certain areas, but especially on the big ice, it really opened you up that way.
You know, it's interesting. We played a game 2 seasons ago, I guess it was now. Kevin Gumas was with us at that time, and we had the big sheet that we were playing on at Lake Placid. Played a game against the Adirondack Thunder up there, and it was interesting to go from playing game to game on the 200 by 85 that you play on most rinks here in North America, and all of a sudden you've got this huge expanse there in Lake Placid. We were actually traveling from Manchester, New Hampshire, playing in Adirondack that night, so the boys were already tired. And the next thing you know, you throw them out there on this huge sheet, and it was definitely a different game.
Yeah, you'll be a bit more tired after that. I think the first month of training camp, my first year, I was a little more tired than usual.
One of the things that stood out to me is the opportunity for guys to catch players. It looks like you're developing all this gap, all this space. You're breaking away from a player, and you just could not get to the scoring zone by the time that somebody was able to catch you from behind.
No, definitely. I think angles play a big important role there. As a defenseman, I think more. I've seen a lot of teaching from coaches in that league. Defensively, just trying to cut your angle and go straight back versus trying to go out at the guy, because if you go out, then you kind of kill yourself to get to the net.
It's interesting you should say that, because the only goal that was scored in the game was a 1-0 win for us. Kevin Gumas scored it, and he was able to I think Dika guy coming off the half wall, it got on the inside track of him. It looked like the guy took a bad angle, like it might have been a good angle on the ordinary sheet, but on this, Kevin had enough space to kind of get around him, got around, not only around him, but on the inside track, and was able to score from there.
Yeah, I think as a forward, too, I noticed it a lot more when I would go wide around defensemen or try to. You think you have tons of room because they're not on you. You're like, oh, I can get around this guy easy. And then all of a sudden he makes a turn and a pivot and he's right in your lane. All of a sudden you have to kind of read off and get used to it.
You know, your numbers are real good over there in Sweden. Obviously a point-a-game guy. And how was your team out over there? Was it an experience that you guys had success?
Yeah, my first 2 years I was with the same team. Last year was a different one. My first year we actually played to go up in the SHL, which is like soccer relegation they do. It's a European thing, I think, in general. But so we played to go up, so we were a very good team my first year. My second year, we kind of had a bad year. This last year, I tried to transfer to a different team to give myself a better chance to moving up and whatnot, and ended up not being the right choice for me. It was kind of a tough year.
Did you guys earn that opportunity to jump up into the number? Obviously not. Or did you? I'm not sure.
We actually did not. No, we lost. It's a best-of-7 series at that point. We lost 4-1, I think, 4 games to 1. We played versus some pretty good players and good teams. So
it's an interesting concept, and I know it's bandied about sometimes here in North America about doing that. You know, like the top 2 teams from the ECHL having an opportunity to jump into the American Hockey League. A little bit different structure there. I'm wondering, with respect to individual players over in the Swedish leagues, do they ever look to the second division and say, you know what, there's a player that can play at the first division, not necessarily his team jumping up to the first division, but that individual doing so?
Yeah, they definitely see that, I think, and I was kind of trying to focus on that as I was playing over there. That was my initial thought, was to try and move up eventually down the road. But I think they kind of watch you year by year, and as relegations give you the opportunity to play versus a team like that, and a GM to see you and say, hey, this kid can play, and it opens up a lot of opportunities for different players from the lower leagues, I think.
Mark Thompson here with Adam Schmidt. We're having a little summer signing session here, and I want to thank everybody for joining. We're going to actually give away the first signed puck of the year. We're going to get Adam to sign one here. We'll think of a trivia question going through here and see first person who watches it and answers the question. We'll get that out to them. We talk about you growing up here in Bucks County, right down the road from here. You've obviously have a number of friends in and out around the hockey world, but I know that you've got several guys that you've worked out with historically as well. We've had several of those players here. Chris McCarthy was down to us from the Lehigh Valley Phantoms last year, played quite a bit. Of course, we had Steven Swavely in the same context. We had Nick Luco. So you're just joining all the local guys here when you come to Reading.
Oh, it's definitely great. I'm looking forward to it. Being away from home the last 3 years was fun at the same time, but I'm also ready to be back. Knowing guys on the team too is really important for me.
Did you grow? You're in Orange, you know. I mean, are you? You seem ready. Are you a Flyers fan historically?
Most certainly am. Grew up one, always have been diehard ever since I was young. So
did you play in the Junior Flyers program as a youngster?
I played for the Minutemen. I played a couple years Junior Flyers. I kind of bounced around in the middle of my junior hockey or younger hockey growing up days. But Minutemen and Junior Flyers are my two programs.
Obviously, you look like an athlete that's probably played more than just hockey. And I know we're off the air here. We were talking a little about playing golf, but I'm presuming there were other sports in there as you were growing up as well.
Yeah, I played soccer actually a lot. I was a goalie playing soccer until I was about 16.
Wow. How'd you get back there?
I don't know. I just didn't want to run that much, I think. That's why I wanted to hop in the net. But yeah, I played soccer until about 16, played in middle school. Ended up going to LaSalle High School and pursued hockey from that point forward. So you
talk about LaSalle. They've got a great history, actually, in the state of playing high school hockey. You know, it's not something certain states are really high school hockey is a huge thing. I mean, Minnesota, to a certain extent, I suppose, in Massachusetts and New York, and maybe not so much in Pennsylvania. But LaSalle is one of those schools that historically has had tremendous success in high school hockey.
Yeah, very much so. I graduated in 2009, but I played there for 3 years. I left after my junior year, actually, to go to juniors. But playing at LaSalle was a great experience for me. I'm still very close with the coach, Wally Muehlrunner there. He's done a lot for me in my career.
You guys won a state championship in 08, is that right?
We did. We won the Flyers Cup in 08, and we won the state championship in the same year.
That's got to be a tremendous experience.
Great year, yeah.
Nothing like winning it all. I don't care what the league, what the sport, doesn't matter. When you win your last game, that's usually a good experience.
Yeah, it was very much so, especially two of them, too. You can't beat it. And then actually we played with the same group of LaSalle high school kids. We played on a Minutemen team together. And went to nationals and lost in the semis at nationals too. So we had a really good year.
And you jumped from high school. You went to play in junior hockey, I guess, at the USHL. You were in Sioux City, which has always been a really good program as well. What was your experience like there in Sioux City?
It was great. I really hadn't thought about juniors at all going through that year. I kind of was going to go to prep school and go that route. And then after nationals, I ended up getting drafted, luckily, into Sioux City. My dad made me go to camp. I didn't really want to go to camp. My dad pushed me along, said you should probably go to this, and I went and actually.
Dads always know what to do.
Yeah, he knew. He knew.
Just follow Dad's instruction. You're gonna be okay.
I ended up out there for 2 years, so my senior year of high school, and then one more year after that. And it was a great experience, a great league, and I learned a lot and grew up a lot there.
We actually played in Rapid City this past season, had an opportunity to go up to Mount Rushmore with the boys, and everybody seemed to enjoy that up in the kind of western United States there. And then all of a sudden you find yourself shifting from out west back deep east. You go to Worcester, Mass. At Holy Cross College. Take us through the series of events that took you to Holy Cross.
Yeah, so I committed after my first year. I went on a visit to Holy Cross and just fell in love with the school. The guys were great to me and really treated me well when I went there. And my dad, one thing my dad told me also was to focus on school as well as hockey, and that was a great school, and one that I probably wouldn't have gotten into without hockey. So I took advantage of that, and I was able to come in ground round in the first year and play a lot, and was able to play all 4 years and have a good career there.
Of course, it's in the great city of Worcester, Mass. And I tell people all the time, my family's all from Worcester. My mom and dad both went to Clark University, the whole 9 yards. So, but Worcester is joining the ECHL this season, so you're going to get an opportunity to go back to the hometown, so to speak, and see everybody up there, and not really, like I said, Central Mass there.
Yeah. So I played for the Worcester Sharks for a bit after my college career for about 15 games, and played at the DCU Center my first pro game. So little bit of a special memory for me to have there, and to go back and play there this year should be a lot of fun.
You know, we've had a couple of guys from Holy Cross that have played here as well, and I think they were a couple of guys, teammates of you. Rob Linsmeyer played here, as did Everett Sheen. Both those guys did. So we've had several Holy Cross guys come through the Royal system as well, and had good success at that.
Yeah, Everett and Rob both I played with in my career. Everett was a senior when I was a freshman, but we were fortunate enough to be line mates. He helped me out a lot, a great guy. And Rob Linsmeyer, too, we were line mates for a couple of years. He was there for 3 years with me. I know he's still playing, but yeah, I remember them both coming here and only saying good things about it.
Mark Thompson here with Adam Schmidt. Just a little conversation over the summertime, getting ready for ECHL season number 17 for the Royals, upcoming in the not-too-distant future here. You obviously look like you're in real good condition right now, and I suppose you're about to begin the process of getting ready for training camp and the upcoming season.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to start skating a lot here. Like I said, Chris McCarthy and I, we kind of been training together for years, and we have our little system. We kind of hit this time of the year, and we get running a bit more and hop on the ice a lot, so looking forward to progressing.
When you're going through that process of preparing for the season, do you feel it's a circumstance where you really do have to go through the drills again, the fundamentals, go right back to ground zero? You know, in the golf world, that's often guys will do it, go right back to alignment and setting up. Do you feel like you need to do that in hockey, or is it more about getting out and playing against competitive players equally athletic as yourself, and playing games,
Playing games is fun too. I think there's a lot of shaking the rust off. The first couple of weeks of skating, you kind of feel like you just don't have it. Your mind's ahead of your body almost. After a couple of weeks, you kind of shake it off and feel more comfortable. Obviously, getting in good wind shape, getting good cardio in is important too. But just trying to get comfortable again on the ice and feel like you're doing it every day again. For the Royals fans out there, they're probably wondering, well, what is your game? What's your strength of your game? What do you see as the strength of your game, Adam? I consider myself a power forward. I like trying to go to the net hard and create stuff using my speed. I'd say speed's probably my best asset of my game. I try to use that as much as I possibly can, whether it be on offense or defense coming back. And shooting the puck a lot's important to me too. I'll probably let a lot of pucks on net, so that's kind of the way I play. Looking at it from the other perspective, are there things in your game you're thinking about right now? Here are areas that I can improve, because I've never met a pro player yet who didn't want to advance. And obviously definitely. This is, an opportunity to advance. Lehigh Valley right down the road, obviously, a number of guys that have played there. What would you look at in your game and say, okay, if I want to get to the next level, this is what I've got to improve upon? I'd say just playing consistently. A lot of stuff in hockey these days is just playing consistent every single night, so the coach knows what you're going to have every day. And just playing consistently day in and day out, and being able to use the speed in a positive way all the time is what I'd really be focused on. Yeah, I know playing over in Sweden, you played with a lot of players who are excellent skaters. It seems like to me that that's an element in the European game that really does stand out. We see guys come over. We had Jesper Peterson last season, a couple of seasons we've had Jesper, who is a Swedish player. It seems like it's an outstanding trait of the guys from Scandinavia that they really do skate well. Yeah, very much so. And like I said earlier, the big ice is a huge part of that, being able to skate and use the ice and be effective in that sense. I think speed's always kind of been a positive part of my game, which is nice for me. So going over, I didn't have to adjust as much, I'd say. But definitely the Swedish and the European players in general usually like to work on their skating a lot. Why don't we give away this puck? It's not signed yet, but I'm going to get Adam to sign it in just a moment. I've got a trivia question for the Royals fans out there. First person who emails me at my mthompson at royalshockey.com. Again, mthompson at royalshockey.com. First person who emails me the answer to this question is going to win the signed puck from Adam Schmidt. And I'm going to go to your first year that you were in Sweden. A couple of players that you played with, and I'll take either guy. But one of those guys, and I'll give both scenarios, one of those guys played for the Royals and is now, or at least at last time I recognize, is an assistant coach in the ECHL. So I'm looking for him as number one. And if you get both, it'll be a bonus. The other guy I'm looking for was a star in this league and had a twin brother. They both played for the Elmira Jackals, and both of them were two of the premier players in this league. And I'm presuming that when you played with this guy in Sweden, skill, and he's one of those guys you look at and say, really, there's no reason that guy shouldn't have played in the National Hockey League. Oh, his skill level was unbelievable. I know exactly what you're talking about. He was actually my best friend when I was out there. I'm still keeping in touch with him.
He seems like, honestly, we played him I say we, but the Royals played against him as an opponent. He's not an easy guy to play against, but I always did kind of look at him and say, you know what, something about that guy seems like he's a decent guy to get along with.
He's a very good kid. Yeah, we got along very well, and he at that point had been playing pro for a while. It was kind of my first year, so he kind of dragged me along and showed me the ropes, which I really appreciated.
Well, Adam, we really appreciate you stopping by and speaking just for a few moments. Looking forward to the upcoming season. I know we've got a long way to go. Ordinarily, I'm going to invite you right now. We do a town hall meeting every year, usually third or towards the end of August. Usually there's a rep from the Flyers that comes down from Lehigh Valley, and we'll have our coaching staff there. And if you're still in the area, which I'm presuming you will be, yes, I would hope that you could come over, and we do it at Stokesay Castle. Yeah. It's a lot of fun. Hope you can come out for that as well.
So. I appreciate it.
All right, Adam Schmidt, who's going to join the Royals this season as a power forward. Looking forward to watching him. And also we're going to hopefully have a couple more of these sessions going forward. I want to thank you for stopping by and watching this today. Have a great day, everybody. Mark Thompson, Adam Schmidt with the Royals.